Meet Ankylosaurus. At first glance, it looks less like a dinosaur and more like a medieval tank that somehow traveled back in time. And honestly, that's not far from the truth. Around 68 million years ago, North America was home to some of the most dangerous predators ever to walk the earth. The one dinosaur had a very different survival strategy. Instead of running faster or growing bigger teeth Ankylosaurus decided to become a fortress. Its body was covered in thick armor plates made of bone. Imagine carrying an entire suit of medieval armor every day. Now imagine being born with it. And if the armor wasn't enough it also carried one of the most powerful weapons in dinosaur history. A giant tail cloud, basically nature's version of a wrecking ball. Most herbivores spent their lives avoiding trouble. Ankylosaurus looked at trouble and said, "Come a little closer." Predators had sharp teeth. Ankylosaurus had a solution. Several thousand kilograms of reinforced dinosaur. Scientists believe a single tail strike could cause devastating injuries. For a hungry predator, attacking Ankylosaurus was never a simple decision. Even the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex may have had good reasons to be cautious. After all, a broken leg is a very bad day when you're a giant predator. So how did this armored giant become one of the most successful defenders of the dinosaur age? Let's travel back to the late Cretaceous and find out. The late Cretaceous was not a peaceful place. Every day was a struggle to survive. And hungry predators were always looking for their next meal. Some herbivores relied on speed, others depended on large herds for protection. But Ankylosaurus had a completely different strategy. Instead of running away from danger, it invested millions of years into becoming harder to kill, and the results were impressive. To a predator, most prey animals looked like an opportunity. Ankylosaurus looked like a very bad idea. Its body sat low to the ground. Its vital organs were protected beneath layers of armor. And there were very few places where an attacker could easily bite. Even reaching the neck or belly was incredibly difficult. Every angle seemed to be covered by bone, muscle, or thick skin. For a predator, every hunt carries risks. An injury could mean starvation. A broken leg could mean death. That is why many predators preferred easier targets whenever possible. Why attack a walking fortress when other prey were available? Scientists believe that Ankylosaurus may have been one of the most intimidating herbivores of its time. Not because it chased predators but because predators had good reasons to avoid it. And this was only the beginning. To understand why Ankylosaurus was so difficult to defeat, we need to take a closer look at its incredible armor. At first glance, Ankylosaurus looks almost unreal. Its body appears less like an animal and more like a moving fortress built by nature itself. The secret to its defense was its armor. Embedded within the skin were hundreds of bony plates called osteoderms. Think of them as natural body armor. These osteoderms varied in size and shape. Some were small and rounded. Others formed large protective plates across the back and sides. Together, they created a protective shield covering much of the animal's body. Very few predators could bite through such defenses. But armor alone was not enough. The arrangement of these plates was just as important as their strength. Armor acted like a flexible shield. Strong enough to absorb impacts, yet flexible enough to allow movement. Unlike a turtle, Ankylosaurus could not hide inside its armor. Instead, it carried its protection everywhere it went. Its skull was another masterpiece of evolution. The bones were thick, dense, and heavily reinforced. Even the eyelids contained small bony plates. Nature had thought of almost everything. Yet despite all this armor, Ankylosaurus still carried one final layer of security. A weapon waiting at the end of its tail, and that weapon would make predators think twice before attacking. If the armor made Ankylosaurus difficult to kill its tail made it dangerous to attack. At first glance, the tail may not seem impressive, but appearances can be deceiving. At the end of the tail was a massive cloud made of solid bone, one of the most extraordinary weapons ever evolved by a dinosaur. Unlike horns or teeth, this weapon could strike in a wide arc. Anything standing too close could be hit. Scientists believe the tail was supported by specialized vertebrae. These bones help keep the tail stiff and powerful during a swing. Think of it like a giant prehistoric baseball bat. Except this bat weighed hundreds of kilograms. When danger approached, Ankylosaurus did not need to chase its enemies, it simply waited for them to make a mistake. A hungry predator might circle carefully, searching for an opening. Meanwhile, the tail club remained ready like a loaded hammer. Computer simulation suggests that a full-powered strike could generate tremendous force, enough to cause serious injuries. Some scientists even believe a direct hit could break bones. For a predator, that risk was impossible to ignore. Imagine being a Tyrannosaurus. You were hungry, you were powerful, and you were standing within range of that club. Suddenly, the situation becomes much less comfortable. One wrong move could end the hunt instantly. Unlike predators, Ankylosaurus did not need to win every battle, it only needed to survive. And the tail club was perfectly designed for that purpose. A defensive weapon with devastating consequences. The closer a predator moved the more dangerous Ankylosaurus became. This created a difficult problem for hunters. How do you attack an animal that becomes more dangerous at close range? Scene 47. For millions of years, predators evolved sharper teeth, stronger jaws, and better hunting skills. Yet Ankylosaurus evolved right alongside them, turning itself into one of the most difficult animals on Earth to bring down. Armor protected the body, the tail protected everything else. Together, they formed one of nature's greatest defensive systems. By now, it is becoming clear why Ankylosaurus earned its reputation. It was not just a dinosaur, it was a fortress with a hammer attached. But having powerful defenses is one thing. Using them in a world full of predators is another, and danger was never far away. Despite its fearsome defenses, Ankylosaurus spent most of its life doing something surprisingly ordinary. Like other herbivores, it depended entirely on plants for survival. Every day was a search for food. Fortunately, the late Cretaceous offered plenty of options. Ferns, shrubs, and low-growing vegetation covered much of the landscape. Its broad body and low posture were perfectly suited for feeding close to the ground, no stretching required. While giant predators searched for meat, Ankylosaurus quietly gathered its next meal. A much less stressful lifestyle, at least most of the time. Scientists believe its teeth were relatively small and simple. They were designed for cutting plants, not chewing them. This meant Ankylosaurus probably swallowed large amounts of vegetation quickly, then let its digestive system do the hard work. For an animal weighing several tons, that was a lot of food. Imagine carrying your own body weight in salad every week. Most days passed peacefully, feeding, resting, and moving through the forests and floodplains of ancient North America. But in a world ruled by giant predators, peaceful days never lasted forever. Soon, something was watching from the shadows. The forest falls silent, even the smallest animals seem to disappear. Something large is approaching. From between the trees emerges a Tyrannosaurus rex, one of the most powerful predators ever to walk the earth. Its senses are alert, its eyes scan the landscape, searching for an opportunity. Then it sees movement, an Ankylosaurus feeding in a nearby clearing. The predator slows its pace. This is not an ordinary target. One mistake could be costly. The Ankylosaurus notices the danger. Its head rises, its body turns slightly. The tail club faces the approaching hunter. Neither animal attacks. For a moment, both simply watch each other, measuring the risk. The Tyrannosaurus circles carefully, looking for a weakness, a blind spot, anything that might offer an advantage. But every step brings it closer to the tail club, and every step increases the danger. Two giants stand face to face, one built to hunt, the other built to survive, and neither is willing to back down. The Tyrannosaurus moves first, step by step. It closes the distance, testing the defenses of its armored opponent. The Ankylosaurus immediately turns its body, keeping its tail pointed toward the predator, refusing to expose a weakness. The giant hunter searches for an opening, but every angle is protected by armor or the threat of the tail club. The risk continues to grow. Suddenly, the Ankylosaurus swings. The massive tail cuts through the air with tremendous force. The Tyrannosaurus quickly backs away. Neither giant wins the battle, but neither needs to. The predator remains cautious, and the fortress remains standing. So could Tyrannosaurus rex actually kill an Ankylosaurus? The answer is not as simple as many people think. A healthy adult Ankylosaurus would have been one of the most difficult animals in its environment to attack. Its armor and tail made every encounter dangerous. Scientists continue to study fossils for clues, but many believe that even Tyrannosaurus would have preferred easier prey whenever possible, seeing 89. For millions of years, Ankylosaurus survived in a world filled with giant predators. Its defenses were among the most successful ever created by evolution. More than 66 million years later, its story still fascinates us. Not because it was the biggest dinosaur, not because it was the fastest, but because it may have been the toughest,